Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Treya Tarot. This is the collective reading for Wednesday, January 22nd, 2025. Um, yeah, I'm with the Starman Tarot again today. And let's see what happens. I'm at a loss for words for most things, but let's see what happens today, what comes out. I hope everyone's doing all right this week so far. And that if you like these readings, you're liking and subscribing, and maybe even leaving a comment. Tell me how you're doing. I do really enjoy the comments. So, even when they're mistake comments, like one I recently received about how someone thought the cards were comic books. But my shuffle isn't quite on point today, I guess. All right, let's see. Let's see what we have for today. Ten of Wands. Okay, so that's the card of a burden. The Ten of Wands comes out when you're holding on to something that actually belongs to someone else or that was given to you by a predecessor, but this is reversed. So there is definitely an experience of carrying forth a burden or some sort of belief system that can be burdensome, something that may be inhibiting your ability to create security or creativity or passion in your life. Ace of Wands reversed. Okay, so that goes well with it in that it almost seems like something's being revoked. But the Ten of Wands reversed tells me that there might be some relief coming up, and relief based on, I don't know how to say this perfectly, but Ace of Wands reversed makes me think that the relief might come from a familiar source. And then the Four of Swords reversed. Okay, so there's a lot here about getting moving. You know, I have to block with a card that doesn't have nudity on it for the algorithm. All right, so Four of Swords is usually about putting something to rest or letting something rest, but in this case, it's almost about letting the mind pick something apart. Say it that way. There's there's definitely a belief system here that's coming into question because it's something that's creating burden when the burden is actually meant to be put down. And because of the wands and the swords, it's the experience of mental and emotional burden or mental and um, situational burden as opposed to something that's naturally occurring in the environment. If there was a conflict or burden that was actually happening in the environment, you would see pentacles come out right away. But in this case, this feels internal and personal, and it has to do with how we think about our energy and our resources, how we think about our creativity, and whether or not we feel like we are getting that inspiration that we thrive on. But it seems that this need for inspiration here is actually based on a faulty belief system. So there's a change. Prince of Pentacles, there's that change in the reality. That's upright. The Ace of Pentacles is upright. And then the Seven of Cups. Okay, so there's a lot of confusion here present for today. But there's also this clear offer. So Prince of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, the idea that thought about the situational reality or considering how to rework a situation in your physical reality calls for a kind of discernment process that essentially discerns the true offer from the false ones. Seven of Cups energy is about confusion, but it's also about understanding which offer is actually worth its weight. that Ace of Pentacles tells me that one of them is. If you can see, there is all 7 of the cups have different elements in them. The Ace of Pentacles is present. So this is the shining light here. This is the concrete offer. This is the experience of reality amongst your confusion. All initiated by rethinking something, by overturning old ideas that you may rely on and rest in, that are no longer providing you the actual fuel that you need. It feels like, based on the past, or based on someone else's belief system, probably a parent or someone that you were exposed to if you were a child. Because that 10 of Wands reversed as the first card, that tells me that this is a belief system that might be very solid or very ingrained, is being met with the new mental process. So this old habitual pattern of thought that we rely on is being pulled into question because it doesn't actually float with the reality that we're seeing. Because there's one real option amongst a bunch of non-real options. And we may not be willing to see that real option for what it is. But that's the awakening process here, 10 of Pentacles. So we will see it. We will absolutely see the real option through, and that creates the sense of foundation. And then the Princess of Swords reversed, also interesting. So there's definitely themes of like what's cutting down to the truth and what isn't. Self-defensiveness comes up here. 4 of Pentacles, withholding. There's fear here. There's fear being put down, which breaks through to a clear sight of an offer or a clear sight of a new path forward in the physical world that creates actual stability. That stability is a lot less uncertain than anything before, but it may trigger a response of clinginess. I guess is the way I want to say it. When we haven't actually sensed or experienced a type of stability in the world, it can really be hard sometimes to see what could produce that type of stability that we're looking for if we don't know what it looks like. And that 4 of Pentacles tells me that there's this response to finding a type of stability that might be a little over emphatic in the clingy sense, meaning, oh, I found this structural stability. I'm not letting this go. I cannot open my hands. I've got to keep this close to the vest. But that Princess of Swords reverse tells me that that's a defense mechanism. So there's a very interesting mental process here that seems to directly influence what we can see in the world. And it may be that the new mental process is a bit of a shock because it puts us back at square one on one level. But that square one is the decision point that clarifies the way forward that's most stability producing. So there's themes here of examining old belief systems. There's themes here of having the new idea. So deciding that maybe it's not going to go exactly the way it always has in the past, whatever it is for you. There's themes of rethinking what stability means. There's themes of, can you see which options are true and which options are just phantoms? And once you do choose and see that true option clearly, do you trust that stability? Or do you respond with a sort of denial process present in the 4 of Pentacles, that withholding card? Six of Cups. Childlike wonder, the past, nostalgia, and the card of soulmates. And then the 3 of Swords reversed. Okay. Something is definitely coming in here to help fix an old heartbreak. And that the way it's fixing the old heartbreak is not through, how do I say this? It's not through emotional means. It's through stability. It's through consistency. Now, this heartbreak could be something that's more along the lines of a grief process or more along the lines of a loss of work process. There's a lot of pentacles here. So this could be a physical loss that also broke our hearts on some level. But the Six of Cups tells me that there's a thread, just like the Ten of Wands does. There's a thread from the past that's being reworked to provide stability. And that stability is what fixes or overturns that Three of Swords energy of the broken heart. And then the Five of Cups. So yes, this is about a loss. This is about a loss that made us feel unstable and therefore reactive and confused because our belief system, let me rephrase that. The loss and confusion is reaffirmed by our belief that that's what's true. And so this reading today brings into question, can you see the alternative ways? Can you see when something isn't there to provide you loss, but is instead there to provide you stability? Can you see the difference, even in two things that might seem or look alike? And if you can, are you clearly able to walk towards the offer of stability in that Ace of Pentacles, or are you obsessed with the past and the loss and therefore relying on an old state of being to protect yourself? That's what this reading says. Eight of Swords reversed. I like that because that inherently brings up the potential of the healing here. Let me see if I can show this to the camera. So the Eight of Swords reversed is about breaking out of an internal prison. You know, breaking out of a thought pattern that keeps you locked into something you actually don't want. Whereas upright, it's about being in said state, said prison. So I like that in this deck, it's a coffin only because the idea is that she's locked herself away in something that she thinks is safe, but it isn't, it's torturing her. So seeing that overturned is nice. And I think that's a good ending to this type of read because it clearly spells out this sort of passage through some sort of doorway internally, some sort of mental process portal that may actually leave us a little bit more free to create some stability in a very inconsistent time in the world, in our lives, in this country. So hopefully this is helpful and maybe provides a little bit of a frame of reference if you're looking for a story to guide you through that. I hope everyone has a good day today, a good day tomorrow. I'll probably see you on Friday for the weekend read. And let me know if you like these readings. Leave me comments, please. All right. Talk to you soon.